Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. I wanted to do a bit of miscellaneous stuff mostly and start something. We start here with this anxious adventurer. Keeping up with the Aliapohs. Klinger? Desiree Klinger? God, it's really you! I've heard the songs and tales, but to think that day would come that I'd meet you in the flesh. Whatever have I done to deserve such an honor? Tried of all the days to forget to polish my armor. She must think I'm a total bumpkin. But wait, dare I ask? No, I daren't. To impose on such a hero. But what is the harm in trying? Yes, I must try. You see, I'm a bit of a bind, a pickle, if you will. You see, I've just taken on a task of sorts, a task far, far beyond the abilities of a two-gill greenhorn like myself. But you? Yes, a well-renowned hero like you could tackle this monumental task in your sleep, blindfolded with both arms and legs tied behind your back. So you do it for me, yes? Wonderful. Just head over to Ravenna's and tell Khloe Aliapoh you're there to help. Did I say Khloe Aliapoh? I meant Khloe Aliapoh. That is the silly little nickname for her, and I certainly haven't been frequenting her shop every day for the past 2 moons, but her ever so cute little smile might brighten my dark and dreary days. I'm blubbering enough, and ta-ta! And that is Khloe. Hey there, lady. I'm Khloe Aliapoh. And who might you be? Desiree. Desiree? The Desiree? From all the stories? Wow, you're a legend. A real living and breathing legend. This is so exciting. Did I tell you I love stories? Well, I do. Not just listening to them. I'm pretty good at telling them, too. I have this friend whose mommy and daddy went away and never came back, and well, she gets lonely and cries sometimes. So I tell her stories to cheer her up. That's right, stories of great adventurers like you. She likes my stories. She stops crying and even starts smiling and laughing. Seeing her happy makes me happy too. But lately she's just been staring off into space again. It must be my fault. I bet all my stories are starting to sound the same. But then I had an idea. Do you know what it is? I'll ask great adventurers like you to tell me your stories, and then I put them together and make new stories of my own. It's a really great idea, right? Tell me you think so too. So, will you help me? Ravenna gives me all sorts of things when I work hard, so if you do this for me, I can give you some of them to you. What sort of things? Well, tonestones for one. And, well, all kinds of other special stuff. But not my mandragora pin. It's all mine. So, do me a favor. Remember all your bestest stories and write them in this notebook here. I call it Khloe's Wondrous Tales. Because I have a tale. And I tell tales. Get it? Every time your stories help me come up with a new tale of my own, I give you a present. It'll be lots of fun for both of us, don't you think? Thanks, Desiree. And, by the way, you're even cuter than I pictured you from the stories. And with that, we get Khloe's Wondrous Tales. Yeah, it's a description how it works, but you can get 1 per week and it switches out every Tuesday. Wondrous Tales. Now, you have here the kinds of duties you have to fulfill to check up in these boxes. You have the first line here is always dungeons. And I also have currently just the low tier dungeon I can actually do. This can be any dungeon rank from well, 1 to 45, 50, 51 to 59, 60, and then there's 61 to 69, 70, 71 to 79, and 80. Then you have the alliance rates, the normal rates, and trials. Normal weights again, huh? Can overlap here, seemingly. Anyway, sometimes you also have your deep dungeons in this, or the treasure dungeons was the name I always forget. Anyway, and down here in the corner is always PvP. Also, you have second chances. You get second chances for doing stuff with people who are new to something, and you can unlock a thing you have already finished, and something else gets checked off instead. Alright, I did a dungeon. 50. So now you have a marker, and when you can open it up, we get somewhere here, as you see, not corresponding with this field, somewhere a box. And if you get here a line, or a diagonal, or here, we fulfill the one line, or if you have several 2 or 3 lines, reward checkups. But we cannot have more than 9 boxes checked, so it's a bingo game. And the duties allow us to open up bingo fields. Okay, that's already all for Khloe. For the other thing, I must first need to go to Ishgard and unlock something. Morgaine. You're a leather worker, yes? Aye, I thought so. I pride myself on having an eye for talent, and you, miss, have it in abundance. Don't suppose you've heard of this new collectibles fad, have you? No? Oh, we got to do something about that, man, huh? Here, take this letter to little Lorna in Revenant's Toll. She'll take care of the rest. Yes. We went here to be sent away. Little Lorna. Greetings, miss. How may I assist you this day? A letter of introduction. Very well, it would be my pleasure to enlighten you. As your daughter is aware, there are wealthy individuals who covet certain items, but who would rather pay others to procure them? Ravenna's House of Splendors is glad to receive the customs of such individuals. To supply these collectibles, we turn to men and women such as you, who possess the talent to craft or procure them. Compensation will be commensurate to the collectability of items provided and paid in scrips, which can be exchanged for all manner of fine wares. You may sell these items to the house at any of our branch offices, including those in Limsa, Gridania, and Ulda. Please be advised that these terms are not negotiable, miss. We appreciate your understanding. Ravenna's House of Splendors now accepting scripts. Craft or gather collectibles. Now, collectibles are... Here, collectibles. 50, 60. And when we can... Not what I wanted. Appraisers first, right? Blah blah. We have here items which are worth something to craft, and if you turn them in, you get script for those, and you can turn script in at the script exchange. It is a token vendor. But we want to go West Crafter. Maybe you've heard that Ravenna's House of Splendors is expanding its operations. I'm proud to say that these rumors are true. We have established a presence in Idleshire, far to the west in the Dravanian hinterlands. Should you find yourself passing through, it may be prudent to introduce yourself to our representatives. Present this letter to them and they will know you for one of our suppliers. And we need this because there are additional vendors here, which need to be unlocked. Otherwise, they refuse to trade with you. Gemlona. Beg your pardon, miss, but I haven't got the time to chat right now. One of my little sister suppliers, huh? Well, no, that's different. Place to make your acquaintance. As you can see, the house has come to Idleshire, but we've only just gotten started. It's our hope that with the help of hardworking folk like yourself, it won't be long before we have a center of trade in these parts. And we do it by becoming the premier source of collectibles. Bring us whatever you got and we'll pay you fair value in scrips. May this will be the beginning of a long and prosperous relationship. You can now trade collectibles in Idleshire. And this is a quest I actually wanted. Arms wide open. Because I don't like the normal way to procure script with these. You have seen the numbers, 45 tokens and whatnot. It's extremely low value and a lot of effort for that. But this stuff is good. Well, if it ain't one of our most reliable collectors. Got anything good for us today? Actually, hold that thought. Just remember that I've got something for you for a change. A favor to ask. You wouldn't happen to know a girl by the name of Khloe Aliapoh, would you? Sweet little thing. Born into poverty, she worked her tail off for her sister until she paid off every last gill of her family's debts. Recently, she struck out on her own, renting out a corner of a hard place to run her own shop. Girl's got a nose for coin, that's a match for anyone in the realm. But she can also be a bit scatterbrained, which is what's keeping us up at night. We'd like nothing more than to stick by her side till she gets her new operation off the ground. But needless to say, we've got plenty on our own plates. That's where you come in. So, what do you say? Think you could pay Zhloe a visit and see that the girl's making ends meet? It would mean a whole lot to Ravenna and me. Alright. And yes, Zhloe and the little sisters, of course, Khloe up there. We just met. Oh yes, I am Khloe Aliapoh. However did you know? Am I famous? That's so exciting. And also somewhat terrifying. But most certainly exciting. Oh, but pray tell, whoever might you be? Mistress Gemlona sent you to look after me. Why, how sweet of her to ask. And you to come, of course. Speaking of sweets, have you tried Atkia's pineapple pudding? It's so smooth and sensuous. And where was I? Oh, of course, I'm doing quite well. Thank you for asking. With a loan I took out from Mistress Ravenna, I rented out a room here in the cellars of a hard place. Can you guess what I'm using it for? Actually, let me just tell you. I'm running an orphanage. I call it Memphina's Arms. Because it's like she's holding the orphans and keeping them safe. In her arms. Get it? I'm still new to this, but I've already learned so much. For one thing, running an orphanage is really expensive, so I've had to skimp on a few luxuries. Food, clothing and the like. Why, the last thing I ate was XIV's pineapple pudding, and I had to make a single bowl last a week. It was a rather large bowl, mind you, but still. But this isn't about me. It's about the children and everything I could be doing for them, if only I had more gil in my coffers. Don't worry, Zhloe has a plan. What sort of plan, you ask? You're looking at it. I've started my trading business right here in this little corner of a hard place. I acquire rare treasures and relics from the realm over and sell them to wealthy collectors for princely sums. I've only quite marry a prince, all my worries would be... Wait, what were you talking about? What's in it for my supply, you ask? I was just getting to that. Seeing as how I'm on such good terms with Mistress Ravenna, you see, I was thinking I could pay them back in scrip they could spend at the House of Splendors. I haven't actually asked her yet, of course, but I'm sure she'd say yes. Did I mention that we're really good friends? You know a thing about crafting too? I knew this was Zhloe's lucky day. Almost as lucky as the day when that nice old man paid 10 times what the stone was worth. A whole 100 gil, just because I reminded him of his granddaughter. Anyhow, what do you say? You can be Zhloe's #1 procurement specialist. You do it, won't you? For the children? Gladly. Oh, you're the best. The absolute best. I knew it the moment I saw your face. With you on my side, Zhloe's House of Almost Splendors, I'm still working on the name, will be turning a profit in no time, and then Fina's arms will spread wide to hold every poor orphan in a loving embrace. Anyhow, let's make this official. Desiree, was it? Zhloe is oh so looking forward to doing business with you. Did I say that for every collector who will bring me, I'll pay you in scrip? Redeemable at Rowena's House of Splendors? I did? Good! Because that's exactly what I'll be doing. Provided Rowena approves, of course. Which she will, I promise. That's how Rowena pays her hard-working employees after all. No gil, just scripts. Why, I can still remember her counting them out. 1 script, 2 scripts, red scripts, blue scripts. She'll be positively thrilled that Zoe's following in her footsteps, I just know it. I see the sparkle of curiosity in your eye. But Zhloe, you ask? Without any guilt to your name, however did you purchase food, drink and other basic essentials of daily life? You went wondering that? Well, Zhloe will tell you anyway. At Rowena's House of Splendors you can purchase an enormous flagon of pineapple juice for the low price of only 130 scrips. And who needs food when you have pineapple juice? Not Zhloe, that's for sure. Pineapples? What? Oh, but where were we? You're probably wondering exactly what sort of treasures I'm looking for. Well, I'll be happy to explain. Zoe has her price set on exotic treasures of Near Eastern make and design. A little bird told Zhloe that Near Eastern culture is all the rage among the Ishgadi nobility these days, and who is Zhloe to disappoint such potentially generous customers? I'm counting you, friend. And remember, so are the children. Custom deliveries unlocked for Khloe Aliapoh. Now, can look what make deliveries. Yeah, I know. For level 79 you get yellow, otherwise white crafter script. Near Eastern antiques. Dated Razatan coins for gathering and Tavnarian leaf fish for fishing. But I want to focus on crafting right now. Come here. Custom deliverers. Khloe Aliapoh. Near Eastern antique. Near Eastern antique component. Let's see how good I am. Now here's the difference between collectibles and normal crafting is the quality is far more important. By normal items you have, well, it's important too of course, but you have, basically you have high quality or not. But here the number you have is remembered. Okay, that should be enough for the first rank up for Zhloe. Because the first rank is always easy. And you, of course, you have actually separate items with the collectability rating noted down. Yeah, blah 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 blah. This is not quite the best. With the Guardians taking greater interest in foreign nations of late, trinkets, treasures from the Near East are in great demand. This is just what we're looking for. Now, let's take a closer look. Why, this is lovely. My customers will be overjoyed to see something so beautiful. Can't thank you enough. I get 134 crafter script and 715,200 experience points. Blah blah, you get rank up for the character. Now let's take a closer look. Oh, this way is absolutely stunning. So stunning that it's a shame I have to sell it. But I will make the ultimate sacrifice. For the children. Guardians taking greater and greater interest in foreign nations. Blah blah. Absolutely stunning. Thank you, I got so many new Near Eastern treasures that I barely have space for them all. Fortunately, Zhloe knows some very wealthy individuals who can hardly wait to take them off her hands. I'm happy to say that your Near Eastern treasures have found no end of fans among Ishgardian aristocracy. Why, with only the funds that have poured in thus far, I can safely say that Melfina's arms will stay welcomingly wide open for, well, at least the next couple days or so. But is Zhloe going to rest on her laurels? Perish with thought, not when there are countless children still yearning for warmth and love. I can count on you, can't I, Desiree? Oh, thank you. This calls for a celebration. But yes, I think I'll treat myself to the last bite of pineapple pudding I've been saving since last week. If anyone deserves it, it's you, Miss Zhloe. You're always working so hard to put food on our plates. Hello, lady. Who are you? This is Desiree, a famous adventurer. She's the one who's helping Miss Zhloe turn her trading business around. You're an adventurer, Miss Desiree? My mommy and daddy are adventurers too. I wish you could meet them. Mommy and daddy are the strongest adventurers I've ever seen. They're always keeping the people of Idleshire safe from nasty monsters. Or at least they were. The other day we went off to hunt something called a lead mark. They said they'd be home by sundown, but I haven't seen them since. Oh. Oh. Seems they wiped to an elite mark. Miss Zhloe says they probably just got lost. Anyway, I was so scared and lonely all by myself, but when I met Miss Zhloe, she's been so nice to me, just like a big sister. Sometimes she forgets to unlock the door or feed us, but I know that's just because she's busy. Right, Miss Zhloe? I just met you, Miss Desi, but I like you too. Anyway, I'm going to go now. My best friend promised to tell me a story about dragons, and I just love dragons. See you later, Miss Zhloe, Miss Desiree. That's Tikibi. Just between the two of us. Search parties have been scouring the lands for any sign of her parents, but nothing. I know I shouldn't get the poor girl's hopes up, but I simply haven't the heart to tell her the truth. Besides, Melfina may still work a miracle yet. The day after her parents disappeared, the poor little Tikibi rushed out from her home into the city gates. She waited there day and night in the beating rain and blustering wind, just so she could greet her dear mother and father with a smile the very moment they returned home. When I found her, she was sniffling and shivering in the cold, and that was when my inspiration struck. I would start an orphanage, right here in Idleshire, and take in all the poor children like Tikibi who were crying out for a gentle helping hand. And that's why I must keep to the task. Melfina's arms must spread wider and wider, that no child need know such pain and loneliness ever again. Is it supper time yet? She's pleased with your offer. She considers you now a friend of the orphanage. Yet there's much to be done before the finances of Menfina's arms are stable. To that end, Zhloe has a new favor to ask you. Thanks to you, we're doing better than we were. At least Zhloe is paying rent now. But I'm afraid to say Menfina's arms is still a long ways from achieving true financial stability. So, Zhloe's got to thinking. Perhaps we've been doing ourselves a disservice by limiting our dealings to the Ishgadi nobility, no matter how wealthy and generous they might be. That's why Zhloe decided to look the world over and look big. I'm talking about consortiums, cooperatives, and conspiracies? Commiserations? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, I found a promising new client, Master Gegerushu of Gegerushu Shipping. Have you been to his resort at Costa del Sol, Desiree? They say the sun shines bright on waters clear every day of every year. That rhymed, didn't it? Anyway, I had an idea. What sort of red trinkets and treasures do you think might tickle the fancy of those who live in a world of endless summer? If you're thinking cool and refreshing relics from the bleak, blustery highlands of Kurfus, then I guess great minds think alike. Yes, this is the perfect opportunity to build upon the foundation we've laid. What do you say, Desiree? Are you with me? Custom deliveries got updated. Curve souvenirs, ice stalagmites, and ghost fairies from fishing. Now, but from the second rank onward, you need 6 items turned in to get the next rank up. And I have only 3 deliveries left for this week for Zhloe. Also, once you have several custom deliveries, there is a limit of 12 custom deliveries total per week you can turn in. So, I make a cut here, and we see each other next week, so Zhloe and so we can experience how the story goes on instead of just, thanks, well done, here's your reward. Okay, another week. I prepared some stuff to turn in. Zhloe. Welcome back, Desiree. Ice stalagmites from gathering collectibles. Ice stalagmites formed by the dripping of pure cavern waters over long periods of time are known for their crystal clear purity. Speaking of which, what's the difference between a stalagmite and a stalactite again? Either way, it should fetch a good price. And now, let's take a closer look. Absolutely stunning! So stunning it's a shame I have to sell it, but we'll make the ultimate sacrifice. For the children. Okay, make a delivery, Coffin souvenir. Coffin Highlands are home to all sorts of treasures of cool, austere beauty. The wealthy patrons of Costa del Sol are sure to pay a good price for something this exotic and enticing. Now let's take a closer look. Absolutely stunning. Thanks to your hard work, Zhloe's practically swimming in souvenirs from the Highlands. I can just see the smile on Master Gegerushu's face, and the gil flowing freely from his coffers. The souvenirs you brought back from Kurfus have been selling like something that sells a whole lot. Master Gegerushu and his friends at Costa del Sol say that just gazing at them is as refreshing as a cool breeze on a hot summer's day. Why, this guild's been pouring in day and night, left and right. But that's not all. Now that our finances are under control, I can finally buy the books and writing implements I had an eye on for so long. After all, Zhloe can't very well watch over them forever, can she now? I must help them cultivate their minds, that one day they can strike out and earn their keep on their own. Zhloe was never cut out to be more than a humble merchant, but the future's just full of possibilities. I can't let them down. And to think that not long ago I was worried I wouldn't be able to pay next month's rent. Just look at how far we've come, and it's all thanks to you, Desiree. Zhloe thanks you from the very bottom of her heart. Today, I think I treat myself to a fresh bowl of pineapple pudding, freshly made 3 days ago, but is, have to make it last, you know? Anyhow, I know you're doing the hard work, but even I deserve that much, don't you say? Fine, do that. Have fun. Oh, thank you. The last bowl I had was left over from last month's batch and was somewhat lacking the smoothness one generally associates with pudding, where I almost thought I'd crack a tooth. Not that I actually cracked one, of course. See for yourself. Zhloe's smile is as cute as ever. The one tooth that's slightly out of place only adds to the charm. At least that's what Rowena always told me. Don't you think so too? Oh, you're really too sweet. I'll let you in on a secret. From leftover pudding to stale flatbread, no matter how hard a piece of food gets, you can always soften it up by soaking it in hot water. Great. Of course, it doesn't taste as good then, but at least it's easy on the jaw. And we all have to make sacrifices, right? At least that's what I tell the children, and all I have for their supper is day-old porridge. Zhloe is delighted with your effort. She now considers you a patron of the orphanage. And yet there's still much work to be done before the finances of Athena's arms are stable. To that end, Khloe Aliapoh has a new favor to ask of you. Oh, but how far Athena's arms has come. From teetering on the brink of bankruptcy to clinging oh so desperately to life. We now find ourselves this close to achieving our dream of actual stability, and it's all thanks to you and me. And our clients, of course, and the children too. What were we talking about? Oh, that's right. Zhloe set her sights higher and higher in search of her biggest client yet. You never guess who it is. I give you a hint. What begins with an M sound and rhymes with Ailstrom? Give up? I tell you, the Maelstrom. A kind regular here at the Hard Place told me that the Admiral is planning to hold a massive war game of sorts. Doesn't that sound fun? And kind of scary? But fun. Anyhow, the word is they're looking for all the equipment they can get their hands on. Cannons, cannonballs, more cannons? I have a list around here somewhere. Anyhow, I'm sure you can see where this is going. If you could procure for me a healthy stock of top-of-the-line naval material, I can guarantee you we will be positively swimming in gill. But hopefully not drowning. Did Zhloe mention that she can't swim? But where were we? Oh, of course. I've written up a brand new register of items for you to procure. You take a look, won't you? Remember, it's not just Khloe who's counting on you. We must think of the children. Custom deliveries. Maestro material, Duskfall moss. Infusions made with this are believed to restore vigor. Okay. Good, but again, I need 6, but I have only 3 left, so another cut. Another week. Khloe. Khloe is on the verge of making the biggest deal of her life. I will succeed, I must, for the children. Weaponry, alchemical potations, rations. The Admiral needs all the supplies she can get, and this should serve quite nicely. Now, let's take a closer look. Absolutely stunning. Almost a shame I have to sell it. For the children. This moss is an indispensable ingredient in the brewing of Duskendrort, which, as we all know, is itself indispensable in... actually, I'm not quite sure. What I am sure is that the Maelstrom supplier is willing to pay a premium for it. Now, let's take a closer look. Absolutely stunning. Zhloe is ever so grateful to you, Desiree. Thanks to you, the Maelstrom will have enough material to wage 1,000 wars. I can just hear the sound of the cannons and firing and hulls are cracking. Did I mention I wanted to be a pirate when I was small? I don't think you did. So, how are things going? Otherwise. Desiree, you'd be happy to know that Zhloe's instincts were right on the mark once more. My contact in Limsa tells me that the material collected for Maelstrom was, and I quote, a bloody godsend. Those are the Admiral's own words. Can you believe it? Zhloe still can't believe it. Every piece has been sold off, and at prices with our own coffers overflowing like never before. Now I can finally provide the children with a life they deserve. 1 square meal a day to accompany their usual porridge. Blankets and bedding free of mold and moth holes. Shoes with actual soles. And finally Zhloe can treat herself to a fresh bowl of pineapple pudding every other day. What will you eat the other day? Why, nothing of course, but don't worry. I just close my eyes, savor the smells wafting in from Adger's kitchen, and chomp my teeth together. If I try really hard, I can almost convince myself I'm dining on a full-course meal. Doesn't sound healthy. Savior of the orphanage. Zhloe is overjoyed with your effort. She now considers you a savior of the orphanage. And yet there's still much to be done before the finances of Menfina's arms are stable. To that end, Khloe Aliapoh has a new favor to ask. To think Zhloe would see the day when Menfina's arms was finally free of debt. Not that I thought I'd actually die, of course, at least not for a while. I mean, we're all going to die one day, right? Oh dear, that conversation took a depressing turn. What I meant to say is, thank you oh so much for all you've done. Thanks to you, Desiree, business is thriving and Zhloe can keep Menfina's arms running on her own. Oh, Tikibe, what brings you here? Is something matter? Oh no, did Zhloe forget your breakfast again? No, Miss Zhloe, it's my friend. I told her my name day was coming and she started crying. She said she doesn't know when her name day is. Then I started crying too. When I first came to Menfina's arms, I cried in my bed every night. I tried to smile in front of you, Miss Zhloe, but deep down I knew that Mommy and Daddy were never coming back. But Miss Zhloe was so nice to me, and Khloe would always cheer me up with stories about dragons, and before I knew it, I wasn't crying anymore. And so I want to do for her what Khloe and Miss Zhloe did for me. But what can I do, Miss Zhloe? If only I could give her my name day, I would, but yes, if only. Wait, Tikibi, you're a genius. Don't you see? We just declare your name day the day of all your friends that don't have a name day of their own. We can all celebrate together and none of you will have to feel alone. That's such a great idea, I wish I'd thought of it. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, Miss Zhloe, can we really? It will make us so happy. Of course we can, but we're going to need presents. Not just any presents. Presents so delightful that these poor boys and girls will be able to forget, if only for a day, all the pain and suffering they... I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something in my... Get yourself together, Zhloe. Standing around here sniffling isn't going to get anything done. Well, now Desiree, I think you know what we have to do. Are you ready to get collecting? Alright, time to turn in more stuff to Khloe. Zhloe. Chloe's the sister. Desiree, thanks to you, the children are as happy as Zhloe has ever seen them. If only you could see their beaming faces. Here, a few gifts for them. If it's one thing the children love, it's playing with these glass balls. when I was struggling to put food on their table, sometimes I would try to swallow them. That wasn't good. But I'm certain that's a thing of the past now. Let's take a look. A present for the children. How terribly thoughtful of you. Thanks to you, this will be one of the happiest days in their lives. I'm sure of it. And a heartfelt gift. Come on. A present for the children. I can't have you. The mere sight of a box is sure to fill their hearts with joy and wonder. Well, I suppose it will have the same effect on me. That's good. Oh, Desiree, how can Zhloe ever thank you? So many gifts, and every last one of them straight from the heart. The children will know joy and happiness beyond their wildest dreams. Miss Desiree, Miss Zhloe, thank you so much for the presents. This is my best name since the time Mommy and Daddy got me a wind-up Moogle. My best friend was so happy too. She said it's the second happiest day of her life after the day she saw a real-life dragon. Did I tell you how much I love dragons? You certainly did, Tikkibi. And guess what? Zhloe loves dragons too, but I'm glad your name was a happy one. Just wait and see what I've planned for you next year. Hi, Zhloe. I just came to say hi, which I guess I just did. Are you working hard? Chloe's working hard too. Oh, Desiree, what are you... Wait, I know. You're working with Zhloe. Zhloe told me she had a new partner, but I didn't know it was you. Until now, I mean. She sure is. Desiree here has been a godsend. Ever since she showed up, the guild's been flowing in virtually non-stop. That's wonderful, Zhloe. Oh, Khloe almost forgot. Tikkibi, guess what? Khloe has a new story for you. I think it might be my best ever. You want to hear it, don't you? I sure do. Does it have dragons in it? Please say it does. Anyway, we'll be going now. See you around, Miss Desiree. And I know you're really busy, Miss Zhloe. But please try not to forget our supper tonight, okay? So you're one of the adventurers who've been sharing your tales with my little sister. No wonder her stories have been so exciting of late. She's still just a child, but no matter how hard things get, that smile never leaves her face, even though I know she's lonely, but with her sister always working. Now with returning a profit and Melfina's arms is going strong, I can finally spend more time with her. I'm sure she can't wait to tell me her latest stories, and I can't wait to hear them. But that doesn't mean Zhloe's closing up shop, not for a second. We may be better off than ever before, but there's always more to be done. For her children, of course. You still lend me a helping hand from time to time, won't you? Oh, thank you ever so much, Desiree. Wherever would Zhloe be if it weren't for you? Probably out on the streets, shivering, with nary a bowl of pineapple pudding to be had. Pineapples? Part of a family. Khloe Aliapoh could not be happier with your effort. She now considered you a part of the family. Furthermore, Zhloe's appearance can now be altered through the use of glamour. Through your efforts, the finances of Melfina's arms are now stable. It seems, however, that Zhloe has a different sort of favor to ask of you. And with that, I would like to announce our latest client. But before I do, I must warn you, she is quite a demanding one. Our latest client is none other than me. Weren't expecting that, Desiree? Why, I think I even surprised myself. Thanks to all you've done, my fingers' arms have spread wider than I ever dreamed. But there are just a few more things I need to truly make my orphanage all I've ever dreamed. I can count on you, can't I? Further requests will be selected at random from all those you have seen thus far, with a list refreshed once a week. You may review the items currently in demand at any time by speaking with Zhloe and selecting Make a Delivery. Note that orphanage donations, rainbow pigment and river shrimp will earn you particularly handsome rewards whenever they make an appearance. The effort to procure them will be worth your while. Welcome home, Desiree. I know this isn't really your home, but we've been working together so much that you feel like family. Here, for example, the shrimp has a bonus. And you just see that they are more worth. More experience, more script, and more money. About 50% more. Okay. And just to show it. Don't really want to do anything with it right now. Can now put glamours in, give a hat or maybe a pair of glasses. An imperial robe. Anyway. That's it for Zhloe and her custom deliveries. And as you can see, we can still continue this from time to time, but there is not much in terms of new quests or this. There is occasionally just an altered thank you message that can happen. Otherwise, no, that's it. And I guess the you are finished for this week. All 6 items have been delivered message, which is where I don't think I've ever shown it off. There is a short cutscene for when you are done for the week and can't turn it anymore. It's more grateful instead of okay, I know you have other things to do. Do something else. It's more a thank you for all your hard work every day, so some kind of thing, yeah. Anyway, that's it for Zhloe. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Ace and don't get lost.